Hello, I'm Alex Sanguine, and with my two best mates, we're hosting a podcast about food, culture, and conversation from our very own dinner table. Come Dine With Me was last night. How did it go?
It went really well. Food is probably the best food I've cooked in my life.
In your life?
In my life, I just feel like because I put like 2 days effort into it. Everything was from scratch, pastry, everything. The starters was beef ribeye, which is actually from Aldi, but it was really good quality.
How was it cooked?
Medium rare, pan roasted, butter, garlic, and finish it off in the oven quickly, just so it's got a nice even cook. And then I did a mushroom caramel.
Okay.
With truffle and coriander.
What's a mushroom caramel?
Made like a mushroom puree with shiitake, butter, a little bit of cream, bit of white wine vinegar. Made a caramel and added the mushroom puree into it. Loosened it with like cream and a bit of butter.
So it has the texture of caramel?
It tastes like caramel, yeah. It's just got a bit more umami.
Jesus. Sounds weird, that
Yeah.
does.
It's unbelievably tasty. I got the idea from Cray in when we're down at Pilchards. He did a beef fillet with a miso caramel, which is the same sort of, umami saltiness.
Tell us who Cray is.
Cray Treadwell is a chef. We worked together down in Cornwall. He was head chef at Man Behind the Curtain in Leeds, one star. He got final of Great British Menu. Open up his new place in Digbeth fairly soon, which I'm excited for. He's just a nice guy. We get on really well.
That's quite an impressive dish then.
It was tasty. I mean, Andy ate it and he doesn't know it's mushrooms and he hates mushrooms.
I hate mushrooms.
Yeah, you hate the texture of mushrooms, innit?
Apparently hasn't developed my taste palate yet.
Yeah, you have a child's palate.
A child's palate.
Can handle me spice though.
Yeah. I'll do it for you one of the days and you can try it.
Alright, sweet.
It only takes 10 minutes. And then for mains, I did a pork fillet, Mangalitsa pork, which is like a really rare breed of fat, hairy cow. And it has like this ridiculous fat contents. And it's a bit like Wagyu, but it's pork.
Alright, so is it marbled, or is that...
Yeah.
Wow, so it's marbled fat in the pork?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That sounds quite nice, actually.
Yeah, I tried it in San Sebastian. They'd make like chorizo out of it and all sorts of pork. You go into a bar and there's like these huge pork legs hanging from the ceiling, and they carve it at the table for you and whatever.
Oh, I did see this thing that the hairy bikers, I think it was somewhere in the Mediterranean, and these people on the beach were getting octopus. And instead of, obviously, octopus is like just cooked from the sea, isn't it? Like fresh.
Yeah, because it still moves, right? I've seen that before.
These guys basically got it out the ocean, washed it off, so washed all the slime off it, and then hung it out to dry in the sun.
What?
And they dried it out, and then they just cut it up, and then like they just fried it on like a bloody barbecue. Apparently, it's the best flavour you can get.
Yeah, it is. It's tasty.
Pretty much.
Down at Pilchards, we used to do octopus, and we did the same thing. We got it in fresh every day, dried it out, and then just cut the tentacles on the Japanese barbecue.
What's a Japanese barbecue?
It's just a small, compact cube with a grill lid, and you pack it full of this like special charcoal that doesn't smoke.
Right.
So it's a really intense heat.
Got it. So you're almost searing it, right?
Yeah, but it's in direct contact with essentially fire, so it chars it.
That's mad.
You can literally see where the octopus come from.
All right. So dessert then.
Dessert, I made a shortcrust pastry tart base, and then I made a cereal milk panna cotta.
Cereal milk.
Yes. You've got an obsession with cereal milk recently, haven't you?
It's such an amazing flavour. I love it, especially cornflake milk.
What's cereal milk?
Well, you have a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, is it just like you just drain the milk from the cereal you've had?
Yeah, mate. But no, I won't have eaten this. I haven't eaten the cereal. I just
No, but it's just like a more sugary milk.
No. You know when you have a bowl of cornflakes,
Yeah.
and the best bit is always slurping the milk out of the bowl afterwards.
It's like honey sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of.
I've never heard anyone say cereal milk before. Weird.
Well, that's the one why I wanted to do the menu I did, because every course has got an element in it which especially my family would never have heard of or tried or even knew it existed. So that's what I wanted to
sounds
do, let them
crazy.
try something different.
So what was the verdict then? What score did you get?
We don't know. It was all filmed.
Oh, when did you find out?
It'll be after the last night, so middle of next week.
Oh, of course, yeah. So are you going to do it in an envelope and then reveal it?
I think so. I might get my sister's filmed everything, so I might get her to send it to Dan, and he can edit into an hour-long episode.
So, how confident are you about winning this?
It wasn't about winning for me.
Are you joking? Everything is about winning. If you ain't first, you're last. Shake and bake.
No, I was really happy that just everyone made the effort. Like, people got dressed up. My sister had her makeup on. It was nice. Like, I let them in through the door, shook hands like they were strangers.
Yeah. So it was an occasion, because I know that's what you enjoy about food, isn't it? It's more.
I just wanted it to create a memory. So they came in and I'd set up like card games on a dinner table, water glasses, cutlery, everything was laid out. So we came in, introduced ourselves to each other. I told them the menu.
No way.
And we played cards, got to know each other.
Was it single A or double A?
Double A.
That's the only thing I know about restaurants.
I don't even know that much.
Dad's just like, nachos, hands.
Tortillas.
Have you got a napkin?
You'd win me over with a bowl of nachos.
Well, that's why I did what I did, because I didn't want to cook 3 things that I know they all love, and what I got from them, I think they all enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would if I was there. That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Can we do this when we're out of lockdown so we can join you?
Yeah, I'll do the same menu for you too. How about?
Alright, so our topic this week is procrastination. Is it good or is it bad?
Well, it depends, because, like, I mean, like, as I said in the last one, like, I've been off work this week, and I was doing quite a bit, but then the last 2 mornings, I've woken up, and instead of, like, getting out of bed within, like, you know, going on my phone a little bit, I spent an hour and a half in bed, just on my phone, just scrolling through mind-numbing shit. You know, it just seemed like such effort to get up. It's just a suddenly, like, a frame of mind.
It's subconscious, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think you choose to procrastinate, but I think you choose not to.
Yeah.
But also, when you were scrolling through, that was a choice, right? It was a choice to scroll through and carry on. Do you think that you'd have felt differently if you started your day differently? So if you woke up and instead of reaching for your phone, you changed that single routine to, okay, I'm gonna get up and make the bed. And would that change the course of your day?
I do like procrastination, because you don't expect to do something, and then suddenly you just kind of like watching like something to kind of just like not lift your spirits, but just kind of like take your mind off things and let you relax. But this is what I mean, is like, to me, procrastination is like me going on YouTube and watching like a load of videos, but at the same time, sometimes like the videos I'm watching are actually like I'm learning something, like whether it's something I want to do. So like I can't figure out whether the only time I procrastinate is when I'm on my phone scrolling through funny stuff on Twitter or like Facebook. That's the only when I just don't think about it. But I don't do that often anymore. Like, I used to do it a lot, but it's only recently when I kind of haven't got anything to look forward to in the day that I've started doing it a bit more.
Because like, so procrastination doesn't necessarily have to be on social media, does it? It can be. It can be you've got tasks to do for the day, but you've decided to do other things instead, which is prioritizing something over another, right?
Yeah, well, maybe I'm not procrastinating then, because like I'm not putting that. I don't have tasks that I have to do. It's just apart from getting up and having some breakfast, and to me that's not like a productive task.
Yeah, but that's only because it's lockdown right now. But for me, I think procrastination is probably just failing to have any self-control in terms of tasks.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that. So like in the last episode, Dan, you said you should be taking photographs, or you should even be like writing stuff, because you said you've been doing it for months, right? That is a task, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Do you count that as procrastinating? But then also you've got to look at the creative process. It's like, I should be designing next year's collection right now, but my headspace isn't there. Am I procrastinating because I'm prioritizing something else? Or if I'm still completing a task that needs doing, but it's not the most important, where does that lie? Where does that fall?
Yeah. Is it something that can only be used to describe like what you're doing if there's a time limit on it?
I think a lot of writers say that normally when they've got like a deadline to hit for writing a script, procrastination to them is them not writing, and is them trying to put it off. But it's very different for different writers, because a lot of people, I think it might have been John Carpenter, who got asked by a studio to like write a script, and they gave him a load of, because he made loads of successful films in like the 80s and all that kind of stuff, or like, you know, cult classics and that, and they asked him to write a script, and like he put it off until like the last 3 days, and then he just wrote a script, handed it to him, and they were like, cool. So he got paid a massive amount of money to sit in his wherever he was.
Are you joking?
And just get like stoned or like whatever he wanted to do. And then the last 3 days he's like, I better write this script now. So like, but to him, that's like, that could be him considering procrastination, but like to him it might have been like well, I don't need to do it yet. I'm just gonna like kind of, you know, lie to him and just kind of say that it's gonna take me that long.
Did that get turned into a film?
Oh, I don't know. See, I remember the story, but I can't remember what script it was for or around what time it was.
But if he's done that once, then he must have done it before, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's done it loads of times. He says that was that was a lot of the time his process.
It sounds so familiar to me and my dissertation, because I put it off and put it off and put it off just by doing like ridiculous things and putting my priorities elsewhere. From what could be a 3-year body of work, I crammed into 3 days. Like, I passed somehow, but I just didn't need to do that.
That's outrageous. What do you think is beneficial about procrastination?
Even when people watch films, like they say, oh, they can turn their brain off, and I do that as well.
Yeah.
But my mind is still working when I watch films, because I'm thinking about why something's been done a certain way.
How do you manage your mindset within procrastination? Because you have the vulnerability of starting to overthink things and dig yourself into a ditch.
I think the first step is realizing that you are procrastinating.
So developing that self-awareness.
Yeah. So I don't think you need to be particularly like mindful or self-aware to realize that you're wasting your time.
Should you force yourself to do something even if you're in a state of procrastination during this time?
I don't think anybody should feel like they have to do something just because somebody else is. If you're happy to procrastinate and it doesn't affect like you being disappointed with yourself, then do that.
As long as you can come out of, like, realize you're procrastinating and make the change, then I don't see it as a particularly bad thing. I can see it as taking a break, because I have to do it. Working the hours I work, I get like an hour and a half if I'm lucky in the day, and I actively go and choose to go to the library and chill out or go and have a Costa somewhere. So even though I'm technically at work, I try and switch off completely, but I don't think that's procrastination because I'm making the active choice to go and do that.
Do you think procrastination can be mistaken sometimes for laziness?
Yeah.
By other people.
The point in procrastination is you're doing it while you're putting off other tasks. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I think a lot of people think, well, you're just being lazy. Yeah. And like it's there's a lot more to it than being lazy. It's obviously like people's state of mind and how they're feeling. But I think that's why people generally blur the lines between it.
I do think lazy is an interesting word to use as well, because the task that you're putting off might be to write an essay. But if you go for a 2-hour run or go and play football for 2 hours, you're being more active, but you're just putting off that task.
Okay.
That's a good point, actually. So it's not lazy at all. It's purely, yeah, it can be. But as you said, though, procrastination is just putting off the task. You could be doing something else. I don't know, because the line's getting really blurred here. Because to me, procrastination is like being at home doing nothing. Whereas you, Jake, you could say, if I went to the pub with a few mates because I was putting off a task, like a job that I needed to do, is that procrastination as well?
For me, it is. Because my idea of it is that it's just the failure to do the task that you've set yourself, or that uni set you, or work set you. That's my definition of it.
This is why we thought it'd be a really good topic to talk about, because there's so many blurred lines around it. In a creative process, does the judgment of others thinking you're lazy, but you're actually proactively procrastinating, does that affect your process?
Yeah, it's weird that when people call you lazy in a creative process, it means you're not doing something. You're not literally doing what the task is. Whereas my lecturer always used to say, I understand if like you're not actually doing anything, because you're obviously still, if you're thinking about something, that's not you putting it off, that's you thinking about it. Whereas if you're not actually doing anything, a lot of people would call that lazy.
But that is in your mind. So how do you manage that process when you've got outside judgment that you can hear? How does that affect it? Because or does it? Does it even affect it? From parents, from friends?
I don't know, really. I mean,
I know I've had experiences where, it's like, oh, well, you haven't done anything. You literally just sat there doing nothing. Like, do something. Why are you complaining about it? Just get up and do it. Yeah, but I might be complaining about it. I might be whinging about something that I'm frustrated about. But I'm taking that time away to think about it. But no one else can see that, And it's not even something that you can even put. You're not even ready to put into words yet. You don't know how to verbalize it because it's still processing in your head. So then how do you combat that outside noise? Because that's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's something
you can't really.
You've definitely had to deal with, Dan. Like being in the industry you want to be in, because what you want to do is behind camera, and like you're not on a building site, or you're not you're not in an office. People might think you're just sat doing nothing when actually you might be writing the next Hollywood film sat at home in your room in your pants.
Yeah. It's just when you say you kind of want to be in film and TV or whatever, or you want to be a creative mind and write stuff or direct stuff, like people come to you after uni and kind of offer you jobs, and they say, oh, this is kind of similar to what you want to do. And it's like, I don't think people understand how certain industries work, and people just think there are just jobs open, like you can just fill in a position, and that's just not the way it works at all. You create the position for yourself. It's really difficult to navigate. Like, obviously I'm not doing as much as some people would, like my mates, Joel Punchard. He's doing a lot of like short films, and he's working on short films, and he's been able to, like, it's called networking. That's what you have to do, and you have to create like a position for yourself. There's no starter positions anymore. It's similar to both what you guys want to do, apart from, I think, Jake, you've kind of like been able to get in there quite well.
But that's from networking, mate, and I've said that to you before massively. Like, the only reason I went to Cornwall is because there was an opportunity to meet the guys who I met. I was quite fortunate. Well, not fortunate, I feel like you make your own luck, but because I was there as a professional, that meant from a pool of like 50 staff, there was only sort of 6 of us that really cared. And because I was one of them, the other like industry figureheads that I went to go and meet were them as well. So we kind of just had to mingle, we had to know each other, we had to get on. Point I would make is, if you surround yourself with the right people, or not even the right people, they could be arseholes. Surround yourself with people that are further up the ladder than you.
Yeah.
And they'll just pull you up.
Yeah.
So that's quite an interesting idea, because going back to procrastination and noise, that's definitely something that I could say I'm guilty of, especially when I was younger. And you guys know this, I cut out a lot of people just because I knew that noise was not healthy, and it didn't align with what my why is, the thing that gets me out of bed every morning.
I think it's really important to, rather than to seek being comfortable, is to seek being uncomfortable, and to really push your boundaries. But what I think's great about our friendship is, if you put something out, Dan, and we enjoy it, obviously we'll say this is sick. But if we change something, or if the sound's not quite right, or if the video's delayed, we wouldn't have a problem telling you.
Yeah.
This is a really difficult subject, isn't it? And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are in this creative process at some stage, or whether they're starting out on something they really want to do, or whether they've been doing it for years. It's really, really important, because I personally don't feel like it's good or bad. I think it's somewhere in the middle, and you just have to manage it. And it's for no one else to judge, because they've got their own shit to get on. It's that nice phrase of stay in your lane, mind your own business.
I don't like it. I really don't like it, but I'm a sucker for it. Purely because if I didn't, I don't think I'd be very kind of like happy.
Jake, do you think procrastination is good or bad?
I think it's useful. I think as long as you're aware you're doing it and have the ability to stop doing it and be productive, it can be useful. But I think if you, it's probably addictive in the same way social media can be addictive. Possibly, I don't know the science behind that. And if you get to a point where you find yourself being very unproductive but very active on social media, then I think it's probably bad.
Next week, what we're going to talk about?
I don't know, Jeff.
There's a lot, mate.